The wallet was expensive. Keisha could tell that much from the weight of it alone. She'd found it wedged in booth 7 after the tall Korean man in the black suit left. He'd been her last customer of the graveyard shift at Sunny's Diner, a 24-hour place in Itaewon where Keisha worked 5 nights a week while studying criminal justice at community college. "You gonna keep it?" her coworker Mike asked, watching her examine the leather. "I'm gonna return it." Keisha opened it carefully, looking only for identification. What she found made her pause. Black credit cards, thick stacks of cash in multiple currencies, a business card with just a phone number, and tucked in a hidden pocket, a small silver key marked file or 7. No ID, no name, nothing. "Girl, that's probably $1 million in there," Mike said. Finders, keepers. But Keisha's grandmother hadn't raised her that way. She pulled out her phone and dialed the number on the card. It rang twice before a deep voice answered in English. "Who is this?" "Hi, my name is Keisha Williams. I'm a waitress at Sunny's Diner, and I found a wallet in one of our booths. This was the only number inside." Silence. Then, "You found a wallet, and you're calling to return it?" "Yes, sir. You were here about 20 minutes ago. Tall, black suit. Just had coffee." "And you looked inside?" "Only to find a number to call. I didn't touch anything else." "Most people would have kept it." His voice was careful, measured. "I'm not most people." Keisha bristled slightly. "Do you want it back or not?" A low laugh. "Yes, I'll come tomorrow night. Are you working?" "Same shift. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. "Then I'll see you tomorrow, Miss Williams. And Miss Williams?" His voice dropped. "Thank you. For your honesty. It's rare." He hung up. 12 blocks away, Lee Taemin set down his phone and smiled. "Well?" His second-in-command, Junho, looked up. "Did she take the bait?" "Better. She called to return it without looking inside, without asking for a reward. She just did the right thing." Taemin's smile widened. "Do you know how rare genuine goodness is in our world?" "Hyung, she's a civilian." "Exactly. She has no idea what I am." Taemin pulled up a file. Surveillance on Keisha Williams. She's been in Seoul 8 months. Student visa, studying criminal justice ironically. Works 2 jobs, sends money to her grandmother in Atlanta. No boyfriend, no criminal connections. She's perfect. Perfect for what? For reminding me that good people exist. Taemin studied her photo. Beautiful dark skin, natural hair, genuine smile. That wallet has the key to evidence that could destroy the Golden Crane Triad. If she'd looked, if she'd been curious. But she didn't. Which makes her either incredibly valuable or incredibly vulnerable. Taemin's voice hardened. "Starting tomorrow, she gets protection detail. And I'm going to court her properly, slowly, without revealing what I am until she cares too much to leave. That's manipulation. That's protection." Taemin watched surveillance footage of Keisha finishing her shift. By returning my wallet, she caught the attention of Seoul's most dangerous man, and I'm never letting her go. The next night, Taemin walked into the diner at 11 p.m. He moved with predatory grace, and when his eyes found Keisha, she felt the weight of his attention like a physical thing. "Miss Williams, thank you for waiting." He was even more handsome up close. Sharp features, perfect suit, dangerous elegance. Keisha retrieved the wallet from her locker. "Everything's there. I only looked for a phone number." He checked it, then pulled out $100 bills. "Please, Let me thank you. No, I didn't return it for a reward. I know. That's why I want to. When she refused, he smiled. Then coffee after your shift? There's a cafe that opens at 6 a.m. Just a thank you, I promise. Every instinct said this was dangerous. Rich men didn't buy poor waitresses coffee for nothing. But something in his eyes made her hesitate. One coffee, she agreed. But I pay for mine. His smile transformed his face. Deal. After he left, Mike appeared. Girl, that man is fine, and he looked at you like he just found treasure. Keisha touched the space where he'd stood, a strange feeling in her chest. She had no idea that by returning his wallet, she'd just passed a test, or that Taemin never let go of what he considered his. Would you have returned the wallet, or would survival have won? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you're hooked, hit subscribe and tell me what you think is really in that wallet. This story is about to get intense. Now, let's continue. The cafe at 6 a.m. was nearly empty, just early risers and night shift workers transitioning between worlds. Keisha sat across from Taemin, cradling her coffee and wondering what she'd gotten herself into. Tell me about yourself, he said, his English perfect, with barely a trace of accent. Not much to tell. I'm from Atlanta, been in Seoul 8 months, studying criminal justice, working to pay for it. She sipped her coffee. Your turn. I'm in finance, import-export, investment management, that sort of thing. It wasn't technically a lie. His organization did move money internationally, just not legally. But Keisha didn't need to know that yet. That explains the expensive wallet, she said. And the test. Taemin paused. Test. Come on. Rich businessman leaves a wallet full of cash and mysterious keys at a diner in Itaewon. You were testing me, seeing if I'd steal it or try to leverage it. Keisha met his eyes directly. I studied criminal justice, remember? I recognize a setup. For a moment, Taemin just stared. Then he laughed, genuinely laughed. Something Junho would have said was impossible. You're right. I wanted to see what kind of person you were. And you exceeded expectations. His smile faded into something more serious. Keisha, I meet a lot of people in my line of work. Most want something. Money, connections, status. You just wanted to do the right thing. That's rare. It's called having integrity. It's called being extraordinary. The intensity in his voice made her look away. May I see you again? Not as thank you for the wallet. Just because I'd like to know you better. Red flags waved in Keisha's mind. Rich men didn't pursue poor women without ulterior motives. But there was something in his eyes. Loneliness, maybe, or genuine interest. Why me? She asked bluntly. You could date any woman in Seoul. Because you called to return my wallet at 3 a.m. without asking for anything in return. Because you're studying criminal justice while working graveyard shifts. Because when you smile at customers, it's genuine. He leaned forward. Because you're real, Keisha, and I'm tired of fake. One more coffee, she heard herself say. But I need to know your name, your real name. Taemin, Taemin. What Keisha didn't know was that Taemin had been watching her for 3 weeks before the wallet test. It started when he'd stopped at the diner after a particularly brutal negotiation with the Golden Crane Triad. He'd been covered in blood, not his, and had needed somewhere public to wait while his men cleaned up the scene. Keisha had served him coffee with a warm smile, asked if he was okay, and when he'd said he'd had a rough night, she'd brought him extra cream on the house, with a kindness that seemed impossible in his world of violence. He'd become obsessed, had her investigated, watched, studied, learned that she was exactly what she appeared to be, good. And goodness, in Taemin's experience, was either exploited or destroyed. So he'd decided to claim her first, protect her, keep her goodness intact by keeping her close. The wallet had been a test and an introduction, a way to enter her life without the violence that usually announced him. Protection detail is in place, Junho reported that afternoon. 4 men, rotating shifts. She won't know they're there. Good. What about the golden crane? Still sniffing around. They know you have the evidence, but they don't know where you've hidden it. In my wallet, Taemin thought. The key Keisha hadn't looked at twice was worth millions. Proof of Golden Crane's human trafficking operations, enough to destroy them completely. And she'd held it in her hands and simply called to return it. If they find out about her, Junho started, they won't. She's just a waitress I'm casually dating. Nothing serious. But Taemin's tone suggested otherwise. Make sure it stays that way. Their second coffee date became a third. Then dinner. Then Taemin started appearing at the diner during her shifts, always sitting in her section, always tipping absurdly well. Your boyfriend is here, Mike would tease. He's not my boyfriend. Girl, that man looks at you like you're the only person in the room. That's boyfriend behavior. Keisha couldn't deny the connection. Taemin was intelligent, cultured, surprisingly funny once his guard dropped. He asked about her studies, her family, her dreams, listened like her words mattered. He was also clearly wealthy and well-connected in ways that made her nervous. Important people deferred to him. Dangerous-looking men in suits appeared whenever they went out, maintaining distance but always watching. What do you really do? She asked one night, over dinner at an expensive restaurant she couldn't afford. I told you, finance. Finance doesn't require bodyguards. Taemin's smile didn't reach his eyes. Seoul can be dangerous. I'm careful. Taemin. She set down her fork. I'm not stupid. I see the way people look at you, fear mixed with respect. I see the security, the expensive everything. The way you move like violence is always an option. So tell me the truth, or this ends now. For a long moment, he was silent. Then, I'm not a good man, Keisha. My business involves things you wouldn't approve of. But I've never lied to you, and I never will. If you want to walk away, I'll let you. But if you stay, you have to trust that I'll keep you safe from my world. That's not an answer. It's the only answer I can give right now. His voice softened. I'm asking you to trust me, to give me time to show you that, despite everything else, what I feel for you is real. Keisha should have run. Every instinct, every lesson from her criminal justice classes screamed danger. Instead, she reached across the table and took his hand. No more lies, ever, even if the truth is ugly. No more lies, he agreed. It was a promise he'd come to regret. The attack came on a Thursday night. 2 months into their relationship. Keisha was closing the diner. Mike had left early, and she was alone, wiping down tables, when 3 men walked in. They didn't look like regular customers. They looked like trouble. We're closed, she said, keeping her voice steady. We're looking for someone. The lead man spoke Korean, but his accent was different, rougher. Black girl, works here. You her? Every self-defense lesson Keisha had ever taken kicked in. I don't know what you're talking about. Lee Taemin's whore. That's you, right? He pulled out his phone, showing her surveillance photos. Her and Taemin at dinner, at coffee, outside her apartment. Golden Crane wants to talk to you. I don't know who that is. He grabbed her wrist, yanking her toward him. Don't play stupid. You're his weakness. And we're going to use you to get what we want. Keisha drove her knee up hard, catching him in the stomach. He doubled over, and she ran, straight for the kitchen, the back door, anywhere away from these men. She almost made it. Rough hands caught her from behind, slamming her against the counter. Pain exploded through her ribs. She screamed, struggling, fighting with everything she had. Then the door crashed open. Taemin entered like death incarnate, Junho and 4 other men behind him. The transformation was immediate. Gone was the gentleman who bought her coffee, replaced by something cold and lethal. Get your hands off her. His voice was barely above a whisper, but it carried absolute authority. The Golden Crane members released Keisha immediately. She stumbled, catching herself on the counter, watching in shock as Taemin closed the distance between them. You came to my woman's workplace. Taemin's voice was conversational, almost pleasant. You put your hands on what's mine. Do you understand what that means? She's leverage, Lee. You have our evidence. We have... Taemin shot him. Clean. Precise. Right through the kneecap. The man went down, screaming. The only thing you have, Taemin continued calmly, is about 30 seconds to explain why I shouldn't kill all 3 of you right now. Keisha pressed herself against the counter, hand over her mouth, watching the man she'd been dating reveal his true nature. This wasn't finance. This was organized crime. This was Mafia. Keisha. Taemin's voice gentled immediately when he looked at her. Go with Junho. I'll handle this. You shot him. And I'll do worse if you don't leave now. Please, Keisha, trust me. Just go with Junho. Junho approached carefully, hands visible and non-threatening. Miss Williams, we need to get you somewhere safe. Taemin Hyung will explain everything, but right now, we need to move. I want answers, she said, voice shaking. Now. And you'll get them, Taemin promised. But first, I need to make sure you're safe. Then I'll tell you everything. I swear. Keisha let Junho lead her out, glancing back once to see Taemin crouching by the wounded man, speaking in low, deadly Korean she couldn't understand. The safe house was a luxury apartment in Gangnam, all glass and steel and money. Junho left her there with 2 guards outside and a promise that Taemin would arrive soon. Keisha paced, adrenaline still flooding her system, her mind racing. The surveillance photos, the attack, the gun, the way Taemin had shot that man without hesitation. What had she gotten involved with? An hour later, Taemin walked in. He'd changed clothes, the blood-spattered suit gone, replaced by dark slacks and a black shirt. But his eyes carried the weight of what he'd just done. Are you hurt? His first words, moving toward her with concern. Don't. Keisha backed up. Don't pretend to care now. What the hell was that, Taemin? Who are you? He stopped, jaw tight. I'm exactly what you suspected and were afraid to confirm. I run the Shadow Phoenix Syndicate. Import-export is real, but it's not all legal. I control Seoul's financial underground, money laundering, illegal banking, information brokerage. I'm a criminal, Keisha. A crime lord. And those men? Golden Crane Triad. My rivals. They want evidence I have that could destroy their human trafficking operations. I've been keeping it safe, planning to turn it over to international authorities anonymously. But they found out, and he ran a hand through his hair. They found out about you, found out you matter to me. So they decided to use you as leverage. I matter to you? Keisha's voice rose. You've been lying to me for 2 months, using me as what? Entertainment? A cover? No. Taemin moved closer, and despite everything, she didn't back away. You matter because you're real, because in a world where everyone lies and manipulates and kills for profit, you just return wallets and smile at elderly customers and work yourself to exhaustion to send money to your grandmother. You're good, Keisha. Genuinely good. And his voice cracked slightly. I fell in love with that goodness. With you. Don't say that. I love you. The words were raw, honest. I know I have no right to. I know I lied and manipulated and pulled you into danger. But it's the truth. I love you. And I will destroy anyone who tries to hurt you because of it. Keisha's hands were shaking. The wallet. The test. You've been playing me from the beginning. The wallet was a test, yes. But everything after was real. Every conversation, every moment, every feeling, real, Keisha. I've never been more honest with anyone in my life than I've been with you. Except about being a criminal. Except that, he admitted. But you knew. Some part of you knew and chose to stay anyway. Why? Because she'd fallen for him too. That was the terrifying truth. Despite the red flags, despite the danger signs, despite her better judgment, she'd fallen for Lee Taemin. What happens now? She asked quietly. Now, I keep you safe. Golden Crane won't stop, not until they get their evidence, or I destroy them completely. So you stay under my protection. Full security detail, safe house, anything you need. I can't just abandon my life. Your life almost ended tonight. Taemin's voice rose. They would have taken you, tortured you, used you to force my hand, and then killed you anyway. This isn't a game, Keisha. This is survival. So I'm a prisoner now? You're protected. There's a difference. He stepped closer, and this time she let him. I know you're angry. You have every right to be. But please, let me keep you safe. After Golden Crane is handled, you can decide. Stay with me, knowing what I am, or I'll set you up somewhere safe, new identity, enough money to finish school and never worry again. But right now, I'm asking you to trust me one more time. Keisha looked at him, this dangerous, deadly man who'd killed for her without hesitation, who'd lied but claimed to love her, who'd pulled her into a world of violence she wanted no part of. If I stay, she said slowly, no more lies, about anything. I want to know exactly what you do, who you are, all of it. Done. And I'm not your property. I'm not yours to protect. I'm a person making a choice to accept your help. Understood? And Taemin? She met his eyes. If you ever lie to me again, I walk. No matter the danger, no matter the consequences. I walk, and you let me go. I promise. He reached out slowly, giving her time to refuse, then cupped her face when she didn't pull away. Thank you for not running, for giving me a chance I don't deserve. I might still run. Then I'll let you, but I'll make sure you're safe first. He pressed his forehead to hers. I love you, Keisha Williams. That's the truest thing I know. She closed her eyes, feeling tears threaten. She was in love with a criminal, was accepting protection from the Mafia, had just watched a man get shot in front of her. Her grandmother would have had a heart attack, but somehow, impossibly, she believed Taemin's feelings were real, and that terrified her more than the guns. Living under Taemin's protection was surreal. The penthouse became Keisha's temporary home, luxurious, secure, suffocating. She couldn't work her shifts, couldn't go to class, couldn't even step outside without an armed escort. Taemin had arranged for her professors to send coursework remotely and paid her lost wages. But it wasn't the same. "I feel like a bird in a gilded cage," she told him 3 days into the arrangement. "I know. I'm sorry." Taemin had been sleeping in the guest room, giving her space. "Golden Crane is regrouping. Once I neutralize the threat." "How? By killing them all?" He didn't deny it. "If necessary." "That's not justice, Taemin. That's revenge. In my world, they're the same thing." He moved closer. "Keisha, these people traffic children. They destroy lives for profit. The evidence I have could put them away legally, but the system is corrupt. Half the judges are in their pocket. This is the only way." She wanted to argue, to tell him there was always another way. But her criminal justice classes had taught her the harsh reality. Sometimes the system failed. Sometimes bad people went free. "Show me," she said suddenly. "Show you what?" "The evidence. If I'm risking my life for it, I should know what it is." Taemin hesitated, then retrieved his wallet, the same one she'd returned. He pulled out the small silver key. "Safe deposit box 547. It contains financial records, video evidence, testimony from victims who escaped. Enough to destroy Golden Crane completely if it reaches the right people. Then give it to them. End this." "I plan to. But first, I needed insurance to make sure Golden Crane couldn't retaliate against the victims or their families. I've been quietly moving people to safety for months. Once everyone's secure, I turn over the evidence." His jaw tightened. "But now they know I have it, and they're getting desperate." "So what's the plan?" "Junho's coordinating the final relocations. 2 more families, then we're clear. After that, I hand everything to Interpol and let them handle it." He paused. "But Golden Crane will try to stop me, which means they'll try to get to you. Then teach me to defend myself properly." Taemin blinked. "What?" "You heard me. If I'm a target, I should know how to fight back, not just run and hide behind your men." Keisha crossed her arms. "I'm not helpless, Taemin. I just need training." A slow smile spread across his face. "You're extraordinary. You know that?" "I'm practical. There's a difference." Training started the next day. Junho taught her hand-to-hand combat, how to break holds, target vulnerable spots, use her attackers' momentum against them. Taemin taught her weapons, how to handle a gun safely, basic marksmanship, when to shoot and when to run. "You're a natural," Taemin said, watching her hit the target center mass 3 times in a row. "My dad was a cop. He taught me to shoot when I was 16. Keisha set down the gun carefully. "He died in the line of duty when I was 18. That's why I wanted to study criminal justice, to understand why good people die while bad people thrive." "I'm sorry." Taemin's voice was genuine. "Your father sounds like he was a good man." "He was, which is why he'd hate that I'm involved with you." She turned to face him. "You're everything he stood against." I know. But he also taught me that the world isn't black and white, that sometimes good people do bad things for the right reasons. Keisha moved closer. What are your reasons, Taemin? Why did you become this? He was quiet for a long moment. My parents were murdered when I was 17. Home invasion, wrong place, wrong time. The police never found who did it, never even really tried, because we were nobody. Poor, powerless, invisible. His voice hardened. I decided then that I'd never be powerless again. I built the Shadow Phoenix from nothing, through violence and strategy. I became someone people feared so no one could take from me again. And now I'm trying to be someone you don't have to be ashamed of. Someone who uses power to protect instead of just to survive. He cupped her face. You make me want to be better, Keisha. That's terrifying and wonderful at the same time. She kissed him then, properly, for the first time since learning the truth. It was a kiss that tasted like acceptance and fear and impossible hope. I'm still angry at you for lying, she murmured against his lips. I know. And I don't trust you completely yet. I'll earn it back. But I do love you. God help me. I love you. Taemin pulled her closer. God help us both. The break came 2 weeks later. Junho burst into the penthouse at 2 a.m. We found them. Golden Crane's main operations center. They're moving the last of the trafficking victims tonight before relocating. If we hit them now, we can get the evidence we need and save those people. Taemin was already moving, grabbing weapons. How many? 20 guards, maybe more. But Hyung, it's our only shot. They're spooked. After tonight, they'll scatter, and we'll never find them all. Then we go now. Taemin turned to Keisha. Stay here. Full security. I'll be back by dawn. No, Keisha stood. I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. Those are trafficking victims. People who need help. I'm studying to be a lawyer, Taemin. I should be there to witness, to help, to make sure they're treated right. When he started to protest, she stepped closer. You taught me to fight. You said you loved me. So trust me to do this. Junho looked between them. Hyung, she has a point. Having a civilian witness, someone with no ties to any organization, makes the evidence stronger. Taemin's jaw worked. Finally, you stay in the van. You don't engage. If shooting starts, Junho gets you out. Non-negotiable. Deal. The Golden Crane facility was a warehouse near Incheon. Isolated, heavily guarded, perfect for hiding horrors. Keisha watched from the van as Taemin's men moved into position. Synchronized and deadly. This is what he does, Junho said quietly beside her. He's not just protecting you. He does this, rescues people, takes down operations like this. The Shadow Phoenix isn't like other syndicates. We have rules. You're still criminals, yes, but we're criminals who draw lines. Junho's voice was firm. No human trafficking, no drugs near schools, no targeting civilians. Taemin built something different, something that protects as much as it profits. Before Keisha could respond, gunfire erupted. It was controlled chaos, Taemin's men moving with precision, taking down guards, securing entrances, and then Taemin himself moving through the warehouse like a dark angel, finding the locked room where 12 women and girls were being held. Keisha watched him holster his gun and approach them gently, hands visible, speaking soft Korean and broken English. You're safe now. I'm getting you out. The relief, the tears, The desperate gratitude, it was real. These people were being saved by a criminal. Phase 2 clear. Junho's radio crackled. We have the victims secure and, wait, we've got movement. East entrance, multiple vehicles. Hyung, The explosion rocked the van. Reinforcements. Golden Crane had been waiting for them. Get her out, Taemin's voice over the radio, urgent. Junho, get Keisha out now. But they were surrounded. 5 cars, dozens of armed men, and in the center, a man in an expensive suit who smiled like a snake. Lee Taemin, he called out in English. I believe you have something that belongs to me, and I have something you want. He pulled someone forward, a woman, Korean, middle-aged, terrified. My mother, Junho breathed beside Keisha. Oh God, they have my mother. Taemin emerged from the warehouse, hands raised, face a mask of cold fury. Let her go, Zhang. This is between us. Zhang Wei, Golden Crane's second in command, laughed. Everything changed when you started playing hero. The evidence, the rescues, your little American pet, all of it ends tonight. Give me the key, and maybe I let the old woman live. The key's not here, then she dies. Zhang aimed his gun at Junho's mother's head. Wait, Keisha stepped out of the van before Junho could stop her. I know where it is. The key, I can get it. Every head turned toward her. Keisha, no. Taemin's voice was raw with panic. Let her go, Keisha said to Zhang, her voice steady, despite her terror. I'll get you what you want. Just let the woman go. Zhang studied her with interest. The famous Keisha Williams. You really didn't know about the wallet, did you? Returned it without looking inside. Such beautiful innocence. His smile turned cruel. Fine. Bring me the key, and everyone lives. But if I even suspect a trap... He pressed the gun harder against Junho's mother's temple. I start killing people you love. Keisha, don't, Taemin said desperately. Please. But she was already moving, getting back in the van. The key's in your penthouse. I know where. I'll be back in 30 minutes. The drive back to Seoul was the longest of her life. You can't give him that key, Junho said, driving like a demon. Those victims, the evidence, it's the only thing stopping Golden Crane from continuing operations. Your mother will die. I know, but she'd never forgive me if I let you trade all those lives for hers. Junho's voice cracked. Taemin Hyung has a plan. He always has a plan. We just need to trust. I have a plan too. Keisha pulled out her phone, dialing a number she'd memorized from her criminal justice classes. This is Keisha Williams. I need to speak to Detective Park Sung-ho. Tell him I have information about Golden Crane Triad and human trafficking. Yes, I'll wait. Junho stared at her. You're calling the police? I'm calling the one detective Taemin said was clean. The one he planned to give the evidence to. She met Junho's eyes. We're doing this the right way. By the law. Like my father would have wanted. 25 minutes later, they returned to the warehouse. But not alone. Detective Park and his team were positioned in unmarked vehicles, waiting for Keisha's signal. She walked forward, holding the key, Junho behind her, wearing a wire. Smart girl, Zhang said, taking the key. Now was that so hard? Let her go, Keisha demanded. In a moment. First, I verify this is real. He examined the key, then smiled. Perfect. Now you're under arrest. Detective Park emerged with 20 officers, weapons drawn. Zhang Wei, you're charged with human trafficking, kidnapping, attempted murder, and about 15 other crimes. Chaos erupted. Zhang grabbed Keisha, using her as a shield. "I'll kill her." "No, you won't." Taemin's voice came from behind him. He'd circled around during the commotion. His gun pressed against Zhang's spine. "Because if you hurt her, I'll make sure your death takes days." "You'll go down too, Lee. The evidence is already with Interpol. Multiple copies, multiple agencies. I uploaded everything an hour ago." Taemin's voice was deadly calm. "You've lost. Now let her go, and maybe you live long enough to see a trial." Zhang's grip loosened. Keisha wrenched free, and immediately officers swarmed. Zhang was on the ground, cuffed, screaming threats. Junho ran to his mother, holding her while she sobbed with relief. And Taemin pulled Keisha into his arms. "You terrified me. Called the police? Wore a wire? Do you have any idea how dangerous—" "It worked, didn't it?" She was shaking now that the adrenaline was fading. "The victims are safe. Junho's mom is safe. And Golden Crane is finished. The right way. You're extraordinary." He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her lips. "Absolutely extraordinary. I love you so much." Detective Park approached. "Mr. Lee, Miss Williams. We'll need statements from both of you." "I'll cooperate fully," Taemin said. "And Detective, the trafficking victims in the warehouse need medical attention and protective custody. Some are minors, already being handled." Park studied Taemin carefully. "You did good work here tonight. Off the record, I know what you are, but I also know you're one of the better options in Seoul's underworld. So I'll look the other way on the guns and the violence, just this once. Don't make me regret it. You won't. The aftermath should have been simple. Golden Crane was dismantled, Jiang Wei arrested, the victims safe. Keisha should have been able to return to her normal life. Instead, 3 days later, she woke to find Taemin packing her belongings. "What are you doing?" "You need to leave Seoul." His voice was flat, emotionless. "Tonight. I've arranged a flight to Atlanta, money for school, everything you need." "What? Why?" "Because this isn't over." He wouldn't look at her. "Zhang's lawyer filed charges against me. Conspiracy, racketeering, murder. Detective Park can only protect me so far. If this goes to trial, everything comes out. My organization, my crimes, and anyone connected to me becomes a target. So we fight it. No, you leave. You were a civilian, caught up in my mess. You go home, finish your degree, live the life you're supposed to live." Finally, he met her eyes, and the pain there broke her heart. "Away from me. You're pushing me away to protect me." "I'm letting you go because I love you." His voice cracked. "You deserve better than a criminal trial, witness protection, looking over your shoulder forever. You deserve normal, Keisha. And I can't give you that. What if I don't want normal?" She grabbed his hands. "What if I want you? You don't know what you're asking. A trial could take years. I might go to prison. My enemies will use you to hurt me. This is just the beginning of—" "Stop deciding for me." Her voice rose. "I stayed through the Golden Crane situation. I helped take them down. I chose you knowing what you are, so don't take that choice away now. I'm trying to save you." "From what? A future with you?" Tears streamed down her face. "You said no more lies." "This is a lie, Taemin. You're not protecting me. You're protecting yourself from getting hurt." The accusation hung between them. "Maybe I am," he admitted quietly. Maybe I'm terrified that if you stay, you'll see how dark my world really gets. You'll see me at trial, hear what I've done, realize I'm not worth loving. And I don't think I could survive that, Keisha. I don't think I could survive you looking at me with disgust instead of love. She pulled him close. Then let's find out together. The trial was brutal. Evidence of Taemin's crimes, money laundering, illegal operations, violence, was presented in excruciating detail. Keisha sat in the courtroom every day, watching the man she loved be torn apart by prosecutors. But she also watched him take responsibility, watched him explain his code of ethics, his lines he wouldn't cross, the people he'd saved, watched him present evidence of corrupt officials Golden Crane had bought, of crimes the police had ignored. "You're still a criminal," the prosecutor said. "Yes," Taemin agreed. "But I'm a criminal who took down a trafficking ring your department knew about and did nothing to stop." The trial lasted 6 weeks. In the end, Taemin was sentenced to 3 years in a minimum security facility, a miracle given his crimes, made possible by his cooperation and the testimony of victims he'd rescued. "I'll wait," Keisha told him before he was taken away. 3 years is a long time. "Then I'll be a very patient woman." She kissed him. "I love you, Lee Taemin. That doesn't change because you're paying for your crimes. It makes me respect you more." 2 years into his sentence, Taemin got word that changed everything. Golden Crane had resurged. Jung Wei had escaped custody, and he was hunting for revenge. Specifically, hunting for Keisha. "She needs protection," Taemin told Detective Park during a prison visit. "Already handled, but Taemin," Park hesitated. "There's another option. Work with us. Help us take down what's left of Golden Crane from the inside. You get early release. She stays safe. Everyone wins. What's the catch? You work for us now. Use your connections, your knowledge, but for the law. Become an informant." It went against everything Taemin had built. But for Keisha, he'd become anything. "I'm in." The operation took 4 months. Taemin, working with authorities, helped dismantle Golden Crane's remaining operations completely. Jung Wei was captured, this time with no chance of escape. Taemin was released 6 months early for cooperation. Keisha graduated with her law degree the same week Taemin was released. He stood in the crowd, watching her walk across that stage, pride overwhelming him. She'd spent 2 years visiting him, studying, building a life, refusing to give up. Afterward, she found him. "Hey, criminal. Hey, lawyer." He pulled her close. "You did it. We did it." She kissed him. "I got a job offer. District Attorney's Office. Fighting crime the right way. And us? I think we make it work. You're consulting for the police now, helping take down organizations from the inside. I'm prosecuting criminals. We're both fighting for justice, just from different angles." She smiled. "Plus, I've gotten used to your dramatic intensity." "I love you, Keisha Williams. I love you too, even though you're the most complicated man I've ever met." Years later, they'd tell the story of how they met. How she returned a wallet that changed both their lives. How one act of kindness caught the attention of Seoul's most dangerous man. How love transformed them both. Keisha became one of Seoul's top prosecutors. Taemin continued working with authorities, using his underworld knowledge to protect people instead of profit from them. And every year, on their anniversary, Taemin left his wallet at Sunny's diner, and Keisha called to return it, a reminder that integrity, honesty, and love could transform even the darkest paths. The end. Thank you for following Keisha and Taemin's journey. If you loved their story, subscribe for more. See you in the next one. Would you have returned the wallet, knowing what you know now? Comment below.